Have you ever left a conference, training, or webinar and you're feeling like all pumped up? But when you sit down at your desk the next day, you're not actually sure what to do with the information. What's next? Well, you're not alone. In today's episode, I'm going to call out the obsession we have with mindset, motivation, and what I'm calling the entrepreneurial fluff. We created a culture where feeling inspired is actually more important than taking action. And that's keeping a lot of really smart business owners from getting out of that stuck feeling, even though it was intended to get you out of that stuck feeling. So if you're ever asking yourself, why do I feel like I'm working so hard but nothing's moving, then this episode is for you. Welcome to the Hobby to Profitability Podcast. We're all about figuring out what it really takes to build a successful and thriving business. I'm Jacqueline Green, marketing nerd, AI consultant, and entrepreneur who's been through it all. My goal is to help you get the strategies, the tools, and the mindset shift you need to grow your business without the stress and confusion. Every week, we'll dive into real, unfiltered side of entrepreneurship, the mindset shifts, the strategic moves, and the unexpected lessons that come with building a business. We'll talk about what actually works and what doesn't, how to navigate those changes and challenges that you face, and how to create a business that really fits into your life. If you're ready to turn your passion into profit without the overwhelm, you're in the right place. Welcome back to the Hobby to Profitability Podcast with me, Jacqueline Green. I want to tell you how this kind of all came about. I started really thinking about this fluff stuff out there right now. I just got back last week from a conference I went to last year that I told everybody that would listen to me that this was by far the best conference I had gone to, not only that year, but in years. The content, the community, the entire experience was amazing. So, of course, I signed up to go this year. And you spend money on these conferences. We flew there. We have a hotel room. We buy the tickets to the conference. You're paying for all your food, rent a car, all those things. And this year, it was like 90% of it was all motivation, mindset, fluff. And what's interesting in this particular audience, I would say that there's probably at least 70 to 80% of the people in that audience who are already motivated. They're really working towards something. It was a real estate investment conference, and I still absolutely love the community. This is not anything like I'm bagging on them. But I just walked away going, I'm motivated. I didn't come to this conference to get motivated. I came to this conference to learn something new, to walk away with something I could apply to my business. And it's related more to my real estate investment business. But what can I learn here that I can take away that can really help me make more money? And so that's where it comes down to. And I have another conference at the end of this month that, again, I'm flying to. I have to pay for the hotel. I've already paid for the ticket. And I'm really debating whether to go because I know this conference isn't nearly as good even last year. And it gives a lot of content, but then there's always a program. They'll sell at least 3 programs, and every program will be over $30,000. And I'm just kind of over it. I really am. And it's not that I'm against the whole mindset idea. I 100% believe that your mindset and the energy that you bring to something is incredibly important. That if you don't have that belief that you can do something and get something accomplished, you're not going to get it done. You have to believe in yourself. But to pay for a program or pay for these conferences or webinars or all the things that you see coming through your email and your social, how do we determine which ones really help us take action and build our business? And then which one is just kind of, here's fluff, pay for my program, you'll feel better about yourself. So it gets me to the question of, are we buying and putting all this money into these fluff, and really we're just still not taking action? Does it change the action we're taking from a business standpoint? So we're going to dig into that today. So why is the fluff so addictive? Well, let's talk about the fluff and why it's so common in today's small business world and why we keep buying it. The truth of the matter is, running your own business is really hard. And there are times where you may feel like quitting. I know I have. And there are times when you're beating your head against a wall and you don't know what's going on. Why isn't this working? Why are the things that I'm doing not working? And I think when you see something and someone's trying to sell you something of, oh, make it so much easier. Just buy this program, implement it, and you'll be on your way to making millions. I think that that's really quite attractive when you're struggling, especially when you were under that $1 million mark. And that's what Hobby to Profitability is all about. How do we get to a 0 to $1 million? And so that fluff is easy to consume. You don't have to change your systems. You can just change your thoughts and it'll solve your problems. Unfortunately, that's not the answer. It's also, and I've talked about this in a previous episode, we make decisions based on emotion. So when we make a decision, 80% of the time is we're making that buying decision based on the emotion we feel rather than logic. And it can go up to upwards of actually 90% as well. So when people are selling programs and different things, not to say that they're all bad, not to say that they're all trying to just take your money. I do not mean that. I have bought lots of programs myself, some being absolutely excellent and some not being excellent. But when they immediately go into your emotion where they know you're struggling because you feel stuck, you're struggling because you're not making the revenue that you want to make, and you really want an easier way of doing it, then it's easy to say, yes, this program is going to fix my problem. All I have to do is implement, I have to follow this person, and I can get this done. Well, it's not that easy. And so often we end up buying these programs, but we do nothing with it. So according to a study by Kajabi in 2023, more than 68% of online business owners invested in at least one mindset or coaching program in the last 12 months. But only 18% reported implementing more than half of what they learned. That's pretty staggering. So 68% purchased, but only 18% actually implemented more than half of what the program had to offer. These are huge numbers. And I think it's important to understand the difference between inspiring you as a business owner and transforming your business. And the dangerous part is you feel like you're doing something good for your business, but really you're staying in the exact same place. When we're constantly changing our strategy and constantly changing that thought process and that momentum, it actually makes us more stagnant because we focus on something for such a short period of time. Then we focus on this, and then we focus on this, and then we focus on this, and then you're getting nothing done. So it's really important to understand what is fluff and what isn't fluff. And what is an excuse for your business not moving forward in your own mind versus what can really help you move out of your mind and get that action and that ball rolling. So let's go just a little bit deeper on this. I call this like the consumption trap. And you've probably been in it. I know I have. And I am not talking to you in the sense that I haven't fallen for this trap as well. I completely have. I want to know easier ways. I want to know how somebody got from the point where I am right now and got to another point. So for instance, I want to build a $10 million business. I'm going to listen to people who have built a $10 million business. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of people and content out there that aren't necessarily right for my business or my audience. So let's talk about how you're identifying this. You watch a free webinar and you take 3 pages of notes. You buy a course and tell yourself you're going to start it on Monday. You spend the morning scrolling through Instagram in the name of inspiration. And before you know it, you're consuming hours of content, but implementing nothing. I'm going to give you a more personal example of this. My husband decided a while back, it's been 3 years, and this is how we got into real estate, that he wanted to get into real estate investment. We wanted to create passive income that would help us down the road, that would help us later. And so he started down this path of learning, and boy, did he jump in. Absolutely. He listened to podcasts, he watched YouTube videos, he still does it this day. He bought a very expensive program to immerse himself in. And one of the biggest challenges, and I warned him as he was getting started on this, is that you get to a point where you are so enthralled with learning and learning what to do that you never do. And that's a really important part when we understand that. Yes, as a business owner, you want to know, hey, what's worked for someone else that might work for your own business. But on the other hand, you don't want to spend so much time learning and getting more mindset and motivation around that you're actually not doing the work. And so that is a really important part. If we consume content, but are you taking action on that consumed content? So here's another study for you in 2022, reported by Thinkific. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Found that 56% of course buyers never complete more than 25% of the content they purchase. That's crazy numbers. So you're going to spend money, but over half of you will never go past the 25%. So why is this? Because learning feels safer. When you're constantly learning, you think you're doing something good, and you absolutely are. I'm 100% about learning. I read books nonstop. I listen to podcasts. I do all those things, but at some point, you're consuming more than you're taking action. So we want to avoid that. We want to avoid this addiction that we have towards consuming the content and actually applying it. What is working? What isn't working? What is going on here that I'm doing? What am I wasting my money and time on versus what should I be focused on? What are the strategies that really are going to work for my particular business? You will never learn your way to momentum. You just won't. You have to actually build it. So let me say that again. So learning is great until you're not taking the action required. You have to build your business, and it is hard. Absolutely, it's hard. Yes, there are courses in learning things and books in podcasts that you can listen to kind of help you. But in the end, it's all about you. Let's be real. Random marketing tactics aren't going to grow your business. It's like throwing spaghetti at a wall, hoping the spaghetti will stick. If you're tired of spinning your wheels, or in this case, throwing spaghetti, then it's time to take a smarter approach. The Marketing Momentum Workshop is built for small business owners just like you, who need real results, not just more marketing noise. In one 4-hour session, we will work with you to pinpoint the best strategies and create a roadmap for your business that's going to help it grow. Take the first step. Book your free marketing health check now at behindthedesignco.com, and let's get your business moving in the right direction. Now, before I wrap this up, I want to be very transparent. So you just heard a promotion that is plugged in the middle of our Hobby to Profitability episode called the Marketing Momentum Workshop. So let's talk about this. I'm sitting here telling you, okay, well, there's all this fluff and consumption, and are you taking action based on the content? And yes, there's fluff everywhere, but not all of it is worth your money and time. And when I sat down to create Marketing Momentum Workshop, I really wanted something that a business owner can make actionable. So let me explain to you real quick. So Marketing Momentum Workshop is literally a 4-hour sit down with me. We talk about what is your business, who are you serving, what products and services are you serving, and what are the strategies specific to your business and your audience you should be focusing on the next 6 months to a year to increase your revenue. It's not a generic course. It's specific to your business, and it's all about your business. And I think that's really important to understand is when you walk out of the Marketing Momentum Workshop, you're going to have that roadmap. These are the 3 strategies that I absolutely need to focus on. Because the truth of the matter is there's so much content and so many different things that you can be doing from a marketing standpoint, from operations. I mean, just look at AI. There are so many tools that you can implement to help your business. But when you get to a certain point where you're implementing all of these tools, are you really saving yourself time and money? And so it's a really important question. So when you look at where you're at and what can really help move your business, you want to be very specific. What are you going to get out of this particular program? What are you being sold? And is that realistic in the time span that you have? And is it something that really applies to your business? So you're going to be thinking about, okay, where are my pain points? What are the things that I really need help with? And is this, asking yourself this really important question, is it about me not being motivated or not having a mindset, or is it about me not taking action? Am I not following the strategies that I have set forth to take that action? So how do we evaluate a program or a webinar or conference that we should be going to? So I have a few tips for you. Ask yourself, is this solving a real immediate problem in my business today? This very moment, if I look at my business, is this program going to solve it? A lot of times I end up attending a webinar or signing up for a webinar because I go, oh, that looks really interesting. But it isn't necessarily related to the problems I'm having in my business today. And so I have to be really mindful of that. You have a limited number of hours to work in your business. No matter how many extra hours you think you're working, time is still a huge commodity for any business owner. So you have to be mindful of how you spend that time available for your business. The next thing I want you to think is replace motivation hunting with momentum building. So what are we talking about here? Are you thinking, and I fell in this trap, and I am telling you, this is a problem. I kept thinking, and this has been several years ago, I kept thinking that there was a problem with me. There was some sort of inner thing inside of me that wasn't allowing me to grow my business beyond a certain point. And that was the wrong thinking. Instead, I needed to be really focused on, instead of this all-encompassing, unknown, why am I not motivated? Why do I feel stuck? Why? I really needed to instead to go, okay, we have to build momentum. Everything is about momentum when it comes to marketing and building a business. What's going to help me build and take action rather than just hunting for the latest and greatest thing that's going to motivate me? Then build out a system, your own system on decision making. Ask yourself questions like, does this support my current goals? Will I implement this in the next 30 days? That's a big one. Is this something I'm going to actually implement? And is this helping me grow revenue Is it growing visibility, or is it helping me build the systems in my business for long-term growth? If the answer to these questions is, well, no, then that's not a program for you that you need to purchase. Please understand that clarity doesn't come from just consuming. It actually comes from creating. So how do we detox from all the fluff? So I'm giving you a permission slip today. You don't need more motivation. You need a marketing plan. You don't need another course. You need commitment and consistency. That's how you reach that $1 million mark in revenue. And you don't need to stay in a room that's full of fluff. I give you permission to walk out. And that's exactly what I did at this conference. I sat in there, and every speaker that started to be fluffy, and they all started the same. They have a great story, and they have a great story. It's absolutely great story. But those great stories and their journey at that point in time and where I'm at my business does not help me generate revenue. I was better suited on leaving the conference program and going down the hallway and networking with other people that could actually help me move my business forward. And that was the truth of the matter. So, will it help your specific problem in your business? Can you implement it in 30 days? And will this make you money, save you time, or improve your systems? And if the answers are no, then it's time for you to detox the fluff. The biggest thing that's going to move your business forward is not somebody from a stage motivating you. It's not talking about your particular mindset. It's going to be around what are the steps and actions that you're taking that really tie into generating revenue. And that's a whole nother episode in itself, is what are the things, I'm just laughing kind of going, what are the things you're doing right now that you absolutely don't even need to be doing, that you feel like you're consuming your life? We'll do a different episode on that one. So if you're ready to get out of that fluff and into a real growth, go check out the Marketing Momentum Workshop. It's not a course. It's not a mindset program. It's just a one-on-one strategy session. It's really important that you stay focused, stay on top of your strategies, and do the things that are going to drive revenue. That's how you get out of that feeling of being stuck, and that's how you start building revenue and growing a company from 0 to $1 million. Now, thanks for joining me today for the Hobby to Profitability, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Hobby to Profitability Podcast with Jacqueline Green. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend. You can learn more about Behind the Design at our website at behindthedesignco.com, and be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn or subscribe to the Behind the Design channel on YouTube for more great business growth strategies. Now, I'll see you next time.